It was supposed to be a simple Saturday morning yard sale. A few tables, some old tools, and friendly neighbors browsing through boxes of memories. But what started as a quiet community event turned into a viral nightmare when Karen, the self-proclaimed neighborhood queen, decided that my front yard sale was a, quote, public disturbance. What she didn't know was that her little stunt would make her the internet's most infamous neighbor within days. Before we dive in, tell me which country you're watching from in the comments below. And if you love stories where karma hits back harder than a hammer, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. It began on a bright, early morning in a small suburban neighborhood that had recently formed its own HOA. For years, residents lived peacefully without much interference, but that all changed when a woman named Karen moved in across the street. She wasn't on the HOA board, yet somehow she acted as if she owned every square inch of the neighborhood. She complained about kids riding bikes too fast. She took pictures of cars parked too close to the curb. And every week, she would post passive-aggressive notes on the community board about certain residents not respecting neighborhood standards. I'd always ignored her, keeping to myself and staying polite. But when my wife suggested we hold a yard sale to clear out old furniture and make space in the garage, I had a feeling Karen would have something to say about it. Sure enough, before the first customer even parked, her blinds were twitching. Within 10 minutes, she was outside, standing at the end of her driveway with her arms crossed like she was guarding the border. Neighbors came and went, buying tools, books, and a few antiques. Kids rode their bikes past, laughing. For once, the street felt alive again. But Karen didn't see it that way. She saw chaos. She saw rule breaking. She stormed back into her house, and moments later, a police cruiser slowly rolled down the street. Two officers stepped out, looking slightly confused. They walked up, asking about the disturbance call they'd received. Turns out, Karen had dialed 911, not the non-emergency number, claiming my yard sale was blocking traffic and endangering residents. The officers looked around. My tables were neatly on my own property, cars parked legally, and everyone was calm. They quickly realized it was a false alarm. Still, they had to file a report. Karen stood across the street smirking, watching like she had won something. The moment the officers left, she strutted out again and began taking photos of everything. My signs, my license plate, even my customers. She muttered loud enough for others to hear that she was going to report me to the HOA. That's when I decided enough was enough. I didn't yell or confront her. Instead, that night, I got to work. My wife had recorded parts of the day on her phone, the setup, the friendly neighbors, and even the police visit. With a little editing, I turned it into a short video titled, "When Karen Calls 911 on a Yard Sale." I posted it online, not expecting much, but by morning, it had already hit 50,000 views. People couldn't believe how petty she was. The comments poured in, thousands of people laughing, calling her yard sale Karen, emergency call Karen, and worse. The video spread across every platform, and within 2 days, the whole neighborhood knew. By Monday, someone had printed screenshots of the video's comments and taped them to the community board. Karen tried tearing them down, but more appeared. She demanded the HOA ban me from hosting events, but they refused, citing no rule violations. That only made her more furious. She filed a complaint with the police for defamation, but when the officer reviewed the footage, he told her nothing illegal was done. Everything was filmed on public property. By the end of the week, her phone number somehow leaked online, not by me, and she started getting prank calls from strangers asking if their yard sale permits were approved. She became paranoid, shutting her blinds, and for the first time since moving in, she stopped patrolling the neighborhood. But karma didn't stop there. A few days later, the HOA held an emergency meeting to address community image issues. Several members were furious that one resident had brought negative attention to the neighborhood. Karen was asked to step down from her self-appointed safety committee. She refused, so they officially voted to dissolve it entirely. Her control was gone. Her reputation was destroyed. And soon she avoided everyone, even when passing by. Ironically, my little yard sale video continued to blow up. Major pages shared it, and a local news outlet even contacted me for an interview about viral neighborhood conflicts. I agreed, explaining that it wasn't about revenge. It was about standing up to harassment and showing how some people use authority to bully others. When that aired, Karen's embarrassment reached new heights. Neighbors who once stayed quiet now spoke up about her behavior. People revealed how she'd called city inspectors over imaginary violations, harassed delivery drivers, and even once accused a kid of vandalism for drawing chalk on the sidewalk. Soon, she received a letter from the HOA board requesting that she refrain from disruptive conduct. Rumor had it she was considering moving. By the time autumn arrived, Karen was gone. A for sale sign stood in front of her perfectly trimmed yard, and the blinds that once twitched with judgment now stayed still. That next weekend, we held another yard sale, this time twice as big. More neighbors joined, and we even made it a community event. The same police officers from before stopped by, smiling, joking that this time they'd come just to shop. Looking back, it wasn't the yard sale that caused the chaos. It was someone's obsession with control and how it backfired spectacularly. Sometimes, all it takes is shining a little light on bad behavior for the truth to do the rest. So remember, when someone tries to make your life miserable for no reason, stay calm, stay smart, and let karma do its work. Or, in my case, let the internet handle it. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and comment down below where in the world you're watching from. I've got plenty more wild HOA and Karen stories coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss the next one.